make this little live stream to talk about different fire alarm brands and basically like a Q&A kind of thing, you know. And I do have the chat on my tablet, so I'll be able to read and respond to all of these messages that you guys send in. But I figured I would just make a video to perhaps talk about some stuff with fire alarms. I'm also gonna get all my devices right over here. Select all my fire alarm devices on my bed right here. Right, so I got all my fire alarms on the bed over here. And, you know, I actually have some pretty nice devices right here. I'm also gonna get all these keys too. Also got some pretty nice devices in here. I got my Firelight DG12L full station right there. And I got the Firelight key that I can reset it with. And I got the notifier BNG1 full station. And just do this, see the inside of it, and then close it up like this, and just gotta get the key right here. And I also got the Edwards 278B-1120 full station. And then my Simplex T-Boy right there. And also not least, a thing that is not a full station but a natural manual coal point, I think made in China or something. And that about covers all the coal stations. And now got the System sensor H1224 special butt cluster remote torn. System sensor S1224 MC special butt cluster remote strobe. Little system sensor PC2WH special advanced horn strobe. Little Faraday Siemens 2700 remote strobe. The EST Genesis horn strobe. System sensor SPSOR spectral large advanced horn strobe or speaker strobe. Real large E70-MCW speaker strobe. Yes. How many signals do they all do? Well, you see some of these devices have code 3 options and continuous options, and sometimes march time if you hook a panel up to it. Oh, hi. And, well, I mean, the remote strobes, they don't really make sound. But another device that I have over here that I have in a box because of the way it is right now. Little Simplex 4906 9151 True Alert speaker strobe. It's broken. That's the speaker. Device is kind of broken right now. Unusable. So that's why it's not on the bed with the other devices. But you know it's not broken that I also have. That I think I kind of forgot to include in my fire alarm collection video. Little STI 1200 stopper cover. Right there it says, in case of fire, lift cover, activate fire alarm. And you basically just take it off the bracket like that. And then gotta place it right back on. I think I can put these things in here somehow. Yeah, I'm just gonna put these little things in here so I can lift it up properly. Gotta put it in here. But yeah, you might get a lot of nice devices in this collection of mine. This little stopper cover is something I've been wanting for quite a while. Been wanting one of these for quite a while though. See? You can lift it up like this. And then you can just place it back on there and just gonna set the stopper cover right over here on this bed. Now, there's another device right over here. It's also a broken unit. It's a little system sensor 2WB. Hold on. Yeah, 2WB smoke detector. It's broken. Just like my True Alert is broken. And to top it off, you got this First Alert 9120B snook alarm, residential snook alarm. And also this little light alarm pull station that if there were batteries inside of it, I would just pull that down and little LEDs right there would light up. Now, this is a Q&A video, and I know a lot of people have had questions throughout time about all these different kinds of devices. And these spectral light mounts horn strobes have been known throughout time to be like extremely loud, no matter what the volume setting is. Like this thing could be on low volume and it'd still be loud. Meanwhile, these ones, these Spectral Classics, they aren't really as loud as the Spectral Advance, but I mean it is loud, but not as loud as the Spectral Advance. And this EST Genesis right here, almost the same sound as this device, but not exactly quite the same sound. And pull stations, you already know, they don't really make sound. Remote strobes don't make sound either. Now, speaker strobes, such as this one, they don't really play the traditional sound on their own. You also have to hook up an amplifier to one of these in order to make sound happen. And terminals for this one look like that. Meanwhile, the terminals for this speaker strobe are actually on the other side of this mounting bracket right here. Other side of it, that is. And you see the watts and the voltage settings. And you know, some of these SDI Stopper 2 covers, some of them come with horns, some of them don't. This was a model that does not come with a horn. You can actually see right in there that there is no horn. So yeah, some of these models come with horns and some of them don't. Notice the way my voice changed when I spoke through the device like this. See how my voice changes when I speak through this little Strobe cover. And actually do have some other videos of some of my fire alarms being activated. And I actually know some things about other fire alarm devices. The Relock AS, the Relock NS, the Relock ZNS, Relock MT, Relock Aceto, Spectral Lead Faucet, and the EST Genesis all have similar sounding horns, but not exactly all that similar. Some of them are different than others. And you can actually tell the difference between the horns on each of those devices. Like these two devices right here, the horns on them may sound similar, but they actually aren't as similar as a lot of people tend to think they are. There's like differences. And the Spectral Plastic horn and the Spectral Advanced horn. This one is basically just the Spectral Advanced is basically just a lower toned horn than the Spectral Plastic. But you know, if you guys have any questions about fire alarms, you know, feel free to drop them in the comments right here. Yep, I just pinned a little message in the chat so you can ask all the fire alarm questions that you want to ask. And then I probably should get all of these devices back on the shelf over here. Get some of these alarms back on this shelf. Too. Put this back in the box it came in. And also I'm gonna set this little stopper cover back in there. Wow. Oh, what's this? Oh, I see. Yeah. One of these days I do hope to get a fire alarm control panel. Oh, hi. And one of these days I hope to get a fire alarm control panel, but I would need an actual house for something like that, because this apartment right here isn't really that great for installing fire alarm systems in, because I can't exactly put any of these devices I have on the walls in this place. Although there's a smoke alarm right up there. Residential smoke alarm just right up there on that wall. Have I tested it ever since moving in here? Not once. Nor have I tested the smoke alarm in the living room or the smoke alarm in that other bedroom over there. But you know, maybe I'll get to doing that one day. You know, there are some other fire alarm devices that I would like to own one day. Like the Gentex SHG, or maybe a system sensor LED L series. Maybe a system sensor P2R LED would be a good one to have one day. You know, I see a lot of people saying different things about. Oh, hi. I see a lot of people saying different things about these system sensor LED L series devices, and you know, I do like the design of the LED L series, but sometimes I think the strobe just needs to be larger. I think the strobe on the LED LCDs might maybe larger. Anyway. Ah, yes. The battery life on my tablet right now says 67. Oh. This has been going on for quite some time now. I haven't seen any fire alarm questions. I wonder if I could look up on Google what some of the most asked fire alarm questions are. I wonder if Google would know. But you'll see if Google would know what the most asked fire alarm questions are. This is the most frequently asked questions about fire alarm systems cover operation, testing frequency, system types, and troubleshooting. Some questions that have been asked a lot of times are, what is the difference between conventional and addressable systems? Conventional systems use zones to show a general area. Addressable systems pinpoint the exact device that triggered the alarm. Are smoke detectors connected to the main fire alarm? In commercial buildings, yes. Triggering the detector sounds the building alarm and alerts a central monitoring station. Why is my fire alarm jumping or beeping? Well, that would only... That question is actually related to the smoke alarms. And if your residential smoke alarm is chirping, that usually indicates a low battery. And it also says commercial fire alarm systems require an annual test by a licensed technician. And functional tests for smoke detectors must be performed annually per NFPA guidelines. And should you notify anyone before testing? Yes, always contact your monitoring company to place the system on test before starting diagnosis to prevent false dispatch of the fire alarm. Many people forget to do that. Now, the trouble condition on a fire alarm control panel. That would mean a fault exists, such as a broken wire, ground fault, or low battery, which impairs normal operation. An end-of-line resistor. End-of-line resistor is a small electrical component placed at the end of a detection circuit to let the panel monitor the wiring integrity for breaks. But those are just some of the questions that Google popped up, but there's a lot more things that a lot of people don't know about fire alarms. Now if you're in a hotel and you see a residential smoke alarm inside of a hotel unit, if you see a residential smoke alarm inside of a hotel room, and you see a fire alarm mini horn inside of that same hotel room, just know that residential smoke alarms in hotel rooms are not connected to the main fire alarm system. Like a residential smoke alarm in a hotel room was to go off, you would have to actually activate the actual hotel fire alarm system a different way. And so yeah. Now I do know that those little smoke detectors that are mounted outside of an elevator on each floor of a building that an elevator takes you to, those elevator lobby smoke alarms or smoke detectors are therefore if smoke ever got in front of an elevator, then you could just the smoke would go into that smoke detector and set the elevator into fire recall mode, where it just goes to the main floor without normal operation being a thing. Like, it goes out of normal operation and relocates to the main re-entry floor with the doors stuck open until the fire department, where firefighters come with something that can get the elevator door to be open. Or yeah, the fire recall mode basically sends an elevator to the main, to the assigned re-entry floor, main lobby, with the doors stuck open so that nobody can use that elevator for normal operations in a fire emergency, which you're not really supposed to use an elevator during a fire emergency anyway. And even though some places may not be designed this way, escalators are also supposed to just completely stop when a fire alarm goes off. A lot of people think you can use escalators like that, but sometimes it's best to just use a normal staircase when evacuating a building that has an active fire alarm. And also, if you see a fire truck in front of a building that has an active fire alarm, it's best to keep your distance from that fire truck, as getting too close may prevent the firefighters from doing what they need to do. And And also, you probably should never lock a fire hydrant, as firefighters will need full, complete access to those fire hydrants to connect their hoses up and have long length to extend their hoses to put out fires in the upper levels of buildings, you know? And some fire trucks do come with ladders on the top of them that can be extended to upper level windows. Because like if you're in a hotel room and the fire is like right outside your hotel room door in the hallway, then you basically just have to call the hotel operator, tell them what room you're in, and maybe also signal by the window to let the fire department know that you're there so that they can rescue you. But there's a lot of different tones that fire alarm can make, like code 3, code 44, continuous, March time, California time. Or California code or something like that. And I've actually seen some fire alarm devices and some videos do this little thing called code 2, like just 2 beeps with silence following it instead of 3 beeps with silence following. And you know, I still haven't really seen very many fire alarm questions being posted, so I think I'm just gonna end this stream right here. So thank you all for watching. Bye.